Long Wharf Theater is paying tribute to one of the most popular female jazz singers of all time. Ella takes audiences on a stylish and sophisticated journey through the life of this first lady of song. Joining me now is actress Tina Fabrique, who plays Ella and has been with the show now for 5 years. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You've been living with Ella now for 5 years.
Yes, and it's been a wonderful journey. I'm having a great time here in New Haven and every place else we've been because the world really does love Ella.
Has it been a challenge at all for you? I mean, she herself has been described as very shy and reserved. Are you at all like her?
Well, as a youngster, as a young person, I was a very shy person, but I grew out of that, being an actress for all these years. But I did have, that element, so I understood it in portraying her. And I approached the role more as an actress than a singer because I figure if you're going to play Ella, if someone's going to choose you to play Ella, the first thing you have to do is be able to sing.
First thing, absolutely.
So that's a given. But I started to really peel away the layers because very few people knew much about Ella.
She's a very complex character.
Yeah, she's a very complex person. And I think one of the things you have to realize is that she didn't have all of those staples. She just had as much of a sad beginning as people like Billie Holiday, but it was never spoken about.
She had a troubled life when she was growing up.
She was a kid. She had a very hard life. And it wasn't something that she talked about, She turned away from that because she focused on becoming something. She wanted to make something of herself. And that she went about doing.
And it was through her music.
It was through her music, but she started out as a dancer first. A lot of people didn't know that.
So do you have to dance in the show?
Well, I do a couple of steps. I have musical theater in my blood. I've been doing musical theater forever.
So you can do the
dancing is fine, and I have fun with that because there's nothing better to dance to than some swing music.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is that her first amateur show at the Apollo, she put her name down as a dancer. But what happened is that the people who were on the regular show, they closed the show, were the Edwards sisters. And they were dynamic dancers. And she realized at that moment that she could not follow them. She couldn't. So she got on the mic, and the guy said, "You better do something." And she said, "I guess I better sing." And she sang.
She sang her heart out.
Yes, she did. And the audience, she came on stage. She was actually living on the street at the time. She was homeless. She had second-hand clothes on. She was unkempt in her appearance. She was wearing men's Brogan boots. Do you realize what you have to overcome when you look like that and you get in front of an audience like the Apollo?
Well, her talent had carried her.
Her talent had to be absolutely overwhelming for her to do that. And she kept winning all of these amateur shows after that. And that was the beginning of her life as a performer.
Let's talk about the show, Ella.
Yeah.
How long is it and how many songs do you perform?
Well, I do about 24 songs. And these songs help to move the story forward. But they're some of the favorites that everyone wants to hear. How High the Moon, with all the scatting, Flying Home.
Where does the story pick up in her life?
Well, it's in 1966, and she's in Nice, and she's doing a concert, but she's had a very, very sad occasion in her life. She had to go back home, and in those days, they worked, they flew everywhere, and they would do a night here, and they'd fly to another city the next morning. So she was in Nice doing the Riviera tour and found out that she lost her half-sister Frances, and she had to fly back home, bury her sister, and come back and do the concert. So it was a very, very difficult time in her life. And that moment made her think back on all her situations. In the first act, that's what we do.
We actually have the information right there on the screen about the show. It's playing at the Long Wharf Theater in New Haven through October 17th, and still plenty of tickets.
Yeah.
And time to watch this fabulous
play. So I'd say get on it. Get on it.
What's your favorite part of the show?
Well, there's a song that I got to do with the Ellington Orchestra. I actually sang with the Ellington Orchestra for about 3 years. And Mercer Ellington, who was the director at the time, he gave me a lot of Ella stuff to do. And there's a song called Something to Live For, which is a turning point for her, where she really gets a chance to connect with her son and the audience.
Well, thank you so much, and be sure to watch Ella at the Long Wharf. Thank you all for watching.